Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Vecna Eve of Ruin, Chapter 8. Vecna Eve of Ruin, Chapter 8, Dragon Queen's Pride. That's the title for Chapter 8. And today we're going to talk about another Red Belvedere Casino Pitmaster. And this one is Rezrin Algro Dro. Okay? And Rezrin Algro Dro is a green devil, and he is a pitmaster over the Viridian Den. Now, what is the Viridian Den, and why is it important to the Dragon Master characters? Well, it's one of the attractions at Red Belvedere, and I think that's the best way to think about this Avernus this Avernus Casino, Red Belvedere, is really best thought of as a theme park with themed attractions, and the themes on each one of those attractions is different. The Viridian Den is really what you would find at any bog standard casino. Okay, so it's roulette and blackjack, but you're not going to find roulette and blackjack there. You're going to find Three Dragon Ante, which is an actual playable game. The real and this is a very interesting aspect of Dungeons and Dragons. If I'm a fighter, I say, okay, I'm going to take my sword and I'm going to cut that guy down, right? We do not physically manifest that at the table, right? We don't bring a sword to the table. That could be literally be dangerous, because emotions can run very high in a Dungeons and Dragons game, right? So if we bring a real sword with a real edge, that could be real dangerous. There are some people who will bring a foam sword, right? And actually, I think that could be kind of fun, right? Like if you bring a foam sword, and actually, just to be clear, the Nerf, oh my gosh, holy cows. Nerf actually made a real foam fantasy sword and a real foam fantasy shield, which you could actually bring to the table if you were a paladin and then you could kind of motion out, some of your actions, because it's foam. That might be an acceptable action at some tables, right? You would have to make sure that every Dragon Master at the table was comfortable with it. Every Dungeon Master at the table would be comfortable. Now, what's interesting is, guess who owns Nerf? Hasbro. That's pretty fascinating. That is pretty fascinating. But what's interesting is with Three Dragon Ante, so if you're going to the Viridian Den and your Dragon Master is going into the Viridian Den to play Three Dragon Ante for actual talons, right? You will sit at the table and you will do that as your player, as your Dragon Master character will actually do it. It's a place where what you as a physical person is doing actually physically matches exactly what your character is doing. That's pretty rare. It almost never happens at the Dungeons & Dragons table. But Three Dragon Ante is a very unusual aspect of Dungeons & Dragons, right? So you could actually gamble in Red Belvedere for actual talents, right? And those can have actual impact on the D&D narrative that's being told at your table. So this is a very unusual spot. The other thing that's really important here is, at this point, the Dragon Master characters are searching for the very last piece of the Rod of Seven Parts. And the only way to get it is located in Dragon's Pride, which is an invitation-only club inside Red Belvedere, and the only way to get there is by special invitation of a pitmaster. So Rezrin Algro Dro is actually, this is a really cool aspect of this, where this is something that is actually being, so they have to get the invitation from one of these pitmasters. And so from that perspective, Rezrin Algro Dro is a very important character, because he can unlock this invitation only, and they can move closer to the Rod of Seven Parts. Every single word you just heard is my opinion on the coolest parts of Chapter 8 of Vecna Eve of Ruin, and in Dragon Queen's Pride, that chapter. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.